Okay fuckers, I did this for BTS, so I think it's only fitting I do it for my favorite band of all time, my daddies, My Chemical Romance. Okay, I know my new subscribers came here for the Bangtan content, but I swear I will do my best to make this video palatable to anyone, even if you think MCR is scary. So I was 12 when I discovered My Chemical Romance. My prepubescent emo ass wasn't even ready. This was back in probably December of 2012. I was just sitting on the school bus one day, probably thinking about food or my repressed gay thoughts or something, when my life forever changed. I was on Pandora. Okay, I know, but listen here kiddos. Before Spotify was a thing, all we had was Pandora. Okay, that was what we had 6 years ago. Deal with it. So anyway, I was listening to I think Radiohead radio because yeah, I was a pretty cool 12-year-old when all of a sudden the opening chords to Mama came on. I swear to you, I had never heard anything like it in my life. The whole thing both scared me a little bit but also made me feel really cool and edgy. I never really had a negative impression of my chem as a kid, but I would soon come to find out that many other people did. After I heard Mama, I created a My Chemical Romance radio station for myself and listened to it 24/7 for about a month straight. I still have this same station on my Pandora and wow, it hasn't aged particularly well honestly. Some of it is absolutely great and I still listen to a lot of those same bands today, like Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco, Of Mice and Men, and Pierce the Veil. But my god, there was some cringy shit on there too. Some of the bands I found while looking for this made me have actual fucking flashbacks to being in 6th grade, and my god, what a hellscape that was. Bands like Black Veil Brides and Falling in Reverse. Honestly, big yikes, they're all around. No hate if you like these bands, by the way, I just personally am only reminded of bad times in my life when I hear them. And I'm not a sexist pig anymore, #woke. So anyway, I fell down the rabbit hole a lot more gradually, since MCR was really the first band I fell head over heels in love with. I'll tell you the order I heard their albums in and what I thought at the time and how I feel now. The Black Parade. Obviously I started here, and if you've never given MCR a proper listen, this is the place to start. This album got me through some really rough shit in my life. And I remember being in the hospital when I was 13 and furiously writing down the lyrics to my favorite songs from this album so I wouldn't forget them, because I wasn't allowed to listen to music. My god, this album still gives me the chills even after 6 years of listening to it. Also, do not shuffle this shit. It is meant to be heard in order as it's a concept album, and honestly the transitions here are fantastic. My favorite songs on this album are The Sharpest Lives, Dead, and House of Wolves. 3 cheers for Sweet Revenge. Well fuck me, this is a perfect album. I cannot stress how much this album still fucks me up weekly. Revenge is my favorite My Chem album and sadly always will be. This album is a beautiful roller coaster of emotions and I fucking love it so much. I love every single song here, but my personal favorites are The Jet Set, Life Is Gonna Kill You, Cemetery Drive, Give 'Em Hell Kid, and Thank You for the Venom. Danger Days. This was their newest full-length album at the time. Conventional Weapons was coming out at the time I first bought Danger Days, but more on CW later. I fucking love this album. I don't care what anyone says, it was good then and it's good now. Is it as hard-hitting as Revenge? No. Is it as emotionally charged as The Black Parade? No. But it was never meant to be. This is my go-to album when I want to have a good time. My favorite tracks are Planetary, Party Poison, and Vampire Money. I brought you my bullets, you brought me your love. Not gonna lie, this one took me a long time to fully appreciate. I remember my dad going out and tracking down a copy of the original CD for my birthday when I was 13, and I actually deadass cried. I was so excited. They used to sell for hundreds of dollars sometimes. Also at the time Bullets wasn't on iTunes or Spotify, so I could only listen to the CD. Thankfully this has changed, and honestly some of my favorite MCR songs are on this album, like Demolition Lovers and Vampires Will Never Hurt You. Conventional Weapons. I remember when they were dropping this back in late 2012 and early 2013, it was a cool time to get into them. This was the scrapped album, and honestly CW overall is one of my favorite albums, and I think it's extremely underrated and The Light Behind Your Eyes steals most of the glory. My favorites include Make Room, Ambulance, and especially Boy Division. Now it's time to address the big fat elephant in the room. So picture this. It's early 2013. I'm excited for MCR5 to come out. I'm just starting to get into rock music and I'm saving up my money from my birthday and Christmas hoping MCR will come here during the new album cycle so I can see them in concert. But guess what? On the 22nd of March, 2013, a day I can never forget, My Chemical Romance broke up. I was fucking devastated. I literally just sat in my room and cried 4 weeks straight. I thought I was depressed before, but having my favorite band leave me made everything way worse. It's still honestly a sore subject even though it's been nearly 6 years. And I still read all of the theories I can on Twitter, Tumblr, and Reddit. I'll be making a theory video eventually, but I'm still out here praying for a reunion of any kind because even though a ton of people have completely jumped shit from emo to K-pop, I still love rock and I really want to see MCR in concert before I die. I don't care if they're in their 70s honestly. I hope you've enjoyed this video and I'll be back to regularly scheduled Bangtan programming on Sunday. I promise.
Yeah.
Hey, how much is this?
How much?
No, excuse me. Excuse me.
Oh my god.
Oh, hey, you pretty, yeah.